Howdy. Okay. YouTube intake being a little weird. Hey, I'm the Expert Layman, and I'm going to do something a little bit different, and that is covering the patch notes, because I saw some things that impact what I do streams about, so thought do a stream about it. Weird. Can't seem to find that my stream is actually streaming. And it is. Okay, cool. Okay, patch notes. Version 2.01, Season 4 update. I guess I can read the whole thing. Today's update prepares Rocket League for the start of Season 4. The second set of patch notes with more information will be posted at the start of Season 4. Isn't that now? Season 4 begins on August 11th. Oh, so that's tomorrow. Okay. Changes and updates. Streamer safe music. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to tell you what I think it's about. Streamer safe music allows you to play Rocket League's included music tracks without worrying about DMCA violations. Sorry, got a red light for a second. Violations while streaming or recording. Streamer safe music can be found under Settings, Audio. Once enabled, Rocket League will remove or replace any tracks that may lead to a DMCA violation. The streamer safe setting works in conjunction with your chosen settings for player anthems, playing the soundtrack in-game, and playing the soundtrack during matches. It confused me there. Maybe it made sense to you. What this tells me is they were not able to secure the rights to all the music in the game, so they had to put a partition up. Don't know if that's because it was hard or they didn't want to spend the money. Probably both. Here's the one that intersects with what I do. And the first point here is something I take issue with because it's the opposite of correct. Which is, to improve the average match quality in casual playlists, we are introducing penalties for players who quit casual games early. Now, the number one way to improve your experience while playing in casual, since the worst experience is someone being really toxic and throwing the game, the greatest tool you have for avoiding that is literally avoiding that, deciding not to engage with it and leave the match. So we're taking away your best tool to stay away from the toxic people so that we can improve the match quality? And I've heard this so many times. I think it's like super common. It's like, oh, the problem with casual is people keep leaving. And it's this thing that we do in all over society, to where we look at an effect and say, that's terrible. We have to stop that effect. And it's like, well, that's just happening because of this other thing. Shh. That's complicated and nuanced and difficult, and I'm not smart enough to address it, so I'm going to pretend it's not there. I'm a little hyperbolic there. But it's going to be, I have this kind of metaphor I use called finding the secret garden, which is going in and playing Rocket League. And if you run into toxicity, which I can actually spot really early, just leaving and then finding another match. And if you get toxic people, and a lot of times you can find that group of people where everybody's like chill and nobody's being like super aggressive or toxic. And then you get that group of people you can play with for like half hour or an hour, and maybe one or two people will swap in and out. But people who would normally play toxic, who come into an environment that's like that cooperative and everybody kind of gets it, you like people who might have played toxic will actually play non-toxic just because, group dynamics. Like the thing where if you have 5 people standing in an elevator facing the back of the elevator, when the 6th person comes in, like they're basically compelled to turn around and look at the back of the elevator for, just how we are. But finding that secret garden is going to be a lot harder. And it kind of fits in with this other tinfoil hat strategy or theory I had about how they make their money by feeding cooperative players to toxic parasites. Again, a little hyperbolic, but essentially, I suspect that a lot of their money is made by, the people at the more toxic end of the spectrum, or people who spend a lot of time there anyway, tend to spend more money. So your game can't be profitable. You can't have a non-toxic, profitable Rocket League. And that might just be a truth that we have to deal with. And then it's just all like, how toxic do they have to let it be? But this is definitely, which is weird because they actually have a good move further down, which we'll get to. I'll keep reading. Similar to the matchmaking bans for competitive playlist, players who leave casual playlist matches early may be subject to a short matchmaking ban. Leaving a single match per day won't result in a penalty. One a day. Like, most games will have at least one toxic player in them. So it's weird that they don't do it like based on percentage of matches. And who knows? These things are strange in how they affect people. This could actually end up working because people's reactions to things can like flavor how everything else goes, and that's the part you can't predict. And then things tend to, I don't know, snowball or coalesce in weird shapes sometimes. So this could actually end up making things better. I just don't see it. So you get one per day without penalty, but repeatedly quitting escalates the length of the ban. But repeatedly implies like over the span of like a single like play session, like a half hour to an hour. And then it takes 12 hours for those to start dropping off. And they kind of, I'll get to it. Yeah. 7 bans, first, none, second, 5, third, 10 minutes, fourth, 20 minutes, fifth, and then 7 or more, 2 hours. So like, in a weird way, that might be worth it. It's not so bad since the top, like, be like, screw it, I'm just leaving. And I'll come back to the game later. But what this really does is like in the same way when like you can't get at videos or movies you want to see for reasonable prices, and this has been true for like 20 years. If the people standing between you and watching a movie are being unreasonable in how much they're going to try to extort from you from that, people, a certain subset of the population will hit the high seas. And then you end up not, your projections in your board meetings don't work out because people are like, go for yourself. And it, like, there's a point past where if you keep raising the price, you don't end up with any more money. You just, send traffic elsewhere. So it's kind of the same thing with this. Well, that's kind of my peeve, but the rest of it, 12-hour before the ban level de-escalates by 1 level. Now, I hope that these are concurrent. So is it like 12 hours to go back to 1 hour and then another 12 hours to go back to 40 minutes? I don't think that's it, but it's ambiguous enough they could do that if they wanted. And usually when things are suspiciously ambiguous, there's a reason for that. I don't think that's the case. That's happening in this situation. Finally, you could literally, until today apparently, if you were playing with someone and they were playing toxic and then you reported them and you left, they would put you right back in the same game with the same person. Like they couldn't figure out the code of don't rematch me with the person I just reported. It seems kind of basic. See that? This is good. This is a good move. Stop replacing people. Because a lot of the toxic people will just kind of like, they're like a bridge troll. They just sit in the game, and just try to ruin as many people's day as possible. And of course that gets them to go into a new match. And I don't know, it's debatable. But I like this, but I think once the score difference, I actually said, either 3 or 5 points, you should be able to leave in like ranked matches. Like once the score is, it was going to be a sliding scale. Like, under 3 points difference, you need three votes to forfeit. But when the difference is like three or 4, then you only need 2 votes. And if it's over 5, anybody can forfeit. And that would be like a kind of reasonable way to keep people from, trapping other people into run-up games. But there's sort of a version of it here where they aren't backfilling after a 3-goal difference. So it's kind of a move in the right direction, I think. Undersized party rank restrictions to help preserve balance. To help preserve balanced competitive play, parties of 2 playing in 3v3 standard, in competitive, or 3v3 tournaments must be within 3 ranks of each other. That's a good move in the right direction. Like, it's just ridiculous. If you get put in with one guy who's like better than you and one guy who like started playing, Thursday, that sucks. So this seems to be a good thing. Oh, they mean ranks like that. That's tighter than I thought. I was thinking like, gold, diamond. Okay. Huh. This seems smart, although I haven't really thought about this one much yet. I was all triggered on the one earlier. Oh, but this is just for yeah, competitive and tournament. But okay, so if you want to, queue up your own screwed up team of all 3 people, that's okay. But if you're going in with 2, you don't get to like ruin the third person's game as they try to keep track of which one of you is awesome and which one of you sucks. So I can get behind that one. Trading, I really don't care, but I should probably read that. Once player-to-player trading updates. Once both players have entered items and accepted terms, a new trade review screen will appear. This screen will display all items involved in the trade. All item details are visible at all times on this screen. Painted color, certification, special edition type, esports affiliation. Oh, hey, Roxy. Question from the chat. What's the new update about? Basically, they're trying to make things less toxic. I genuinely think that's what they're trying to do. And I think that overall, that should be the effect of the changes that they're making here. I kind of have a problem with one of the changes. But the rest of them seem to be all in the same generally good direction. I didn't want to talk about trading anyway. But yeah, it's just, quick recap is, that basically they're turning casual into ranked as far as getting bans for leaving games, which I think is stupid because you should be able to leave a casual game if somebody's being a jackass without penalty, but they disagree. Where was that? I was on trading. No new items can be added once the screen... Oh, yeah. Once the screen appears. There is a 5-second cooldown before the accept trade button can be used. You can cancel out of the trade review screen if you want to go back and add remove items. Game ban messaging. New messages will inform you if your account is closed. Who doesn't like pointing out a typo? I make them so often. Oh, no, they didn't. Is close to a permanent ban. Damn it, I thought I had one. Similar to the current ban messaging and report feedback, this message will appear as a pop-up once Rocket League is started. Due to the number of bans issued on this account, the next ban from Psyonix may be permanent. Please do not use harassing or toxic language in future matches. For more information, please go to supportrocketleague.com. Now, this is another issue that I have with the game. This, like, you can play as toxically as you want, and Psyonix, let's be honest, Epic doesn't give a crap. They do not. You could just go into the game and just own goal repeatedly. I don't even think that report unsportsmanlike is even connected to anything. It's like, it's like a button on the wall that says report issue, and you look behind the wall and it's not connected to anything. It's just to make you feel like you're doing something. Previous chat and game bans on your account are taken into consideration before this message is delivered. Wait, these things are considered not in the deliberation, but whether you get a message. It kind of implies, like, if we think you're bad faith, we're not even going to tell you. No, they're not saying, yeah, that's weird. Player count display. The way player population is displayed in game is changing. Total players online is no longer displayed. Whenever anybody, comes up with a really elaborate reason for being less transparent, it always Okay, I think I'm back and had a lightning flash, and literally the only thing that went out was OBS. I don't even know how that's possible, but everything else, computer, lights, internet, everything just fine. Only OBS was affected by this. I gotta listen to myself for a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that was kind of amazing. Yeah, we actually had tornadoes come through, you know, within, well, radar indicated for one and spotted on the other. I don't know exactly how close they came or whether they even had like a significant touchdown. I don't think they did, but like definitely had an hour or 2 hours of tornado warnings yesterday. So that makes you kind of feel alive, you know, once you're sure you're not going to die. But Tactical Rumble is now available. God, I hope I didn't. No, I was at the Flash, so I should be okay here. Well, I started reading it. I should keep going. Tactical Rumble is now available as a Rumble mutator in private matches. Well, that's kind of cool. What to say? OBS is so unstable, but I'm afraid to screw with it because it could just get more unstable. So it's like one of those things you just deal with. New content. Monster Cat Antenna, AK, AMR, Ariel Marin, Dyro, Emily, Vaughn, Ellis, Canary, Have? I feel like this is just meant to make me sound stupid. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of those. Change the name of Inamorata Goal Explosion to Carbonator. Bug fixes. Fixed appearance of trim on Octane when using Linares. No decals. I don't know. I'm confused by that. Fixed a crash when loading into Utopia Coliseum. Snowy. Fixed appearance of several trails. I got a notification from YouTube. Your bitrate's too high. You know what? It doesn't seem like a problem for me. Fixed the appearance of grass near the player's car on Forbidden Temple. Fixed appearance of inconsistent lighting for visionary wheels. Allowed quick beat of music heard at game startup has been removed. Fixed players logging in as player one instead of their normal account. Oh, that sounds cool. Fixed matches not counting as completed when leaving a match during the final replay. FPS improvements to some arenas. Fix some players logging on receiving a syncing failed message and missing their inventory. Fixed players crashing upon loading into Utopia Coliseum. Wasn't that? Yeah. Well, maybe it means both. Oh. Well, that was just the patch notes. I guess I can pop into the game. I'll have to trust that nothing goes awry because I usually have my since I play on 3 screens. Well, I suppose I can just shrink it down to 1 screen and not actually can't play on 1 screen. I can't go back. Once you've played 16:3, you can't go back. It's like going from an ultra wide screen to like a 9-inch television. It's you can't. What's that Chris Rock bit? Women can't go down in status. Guys can't go down in screen size. It doesn't feel right. Oh shoot! Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oops. I'm gonna just go down to the normal resolution just so you guys see all of the menus. Yeah, see, this is my normal resolution: 5760 by 1080, 16:3. You could call it 3K. Oh, other screen. Oh, I have to do that. Well, this is probably going to crash OBS. Okay, so now I should be able to bring it over. Hey, Okay, something worked. Okay. My gamepad's out of reach. I'm not a keyboard mouse player. I don't want to queue in and then just leave. I hear they ban you now. Well, I thought things would... I don't know. It all looks different because I never play this way. I guess there really isn't that much to see in the menu. I suppose I could switch to a wide capture, but then it's just going to be like Lawrence of Arabia. No, I think I've done enough on the stream. Also, I can't see my chat when I have this up, so... You know, in case I get a third message. Yeah, I think overall, good with the patch notes. I really, really don't like the whole, penalized for leaving casual matches, but it does seem, I don't know, I'll have to see. They've made too many changes. Like, a lot of times when you're trying to be like, you know, scientific on how you're doing things, you'll make one change and then see how the system, you know, rejiggers around it. And then, you know, based on, you know, how successful that change was, you'll make another one and see how things and you're dealing with people here and, you know, complex systems. So the idea is like, well, I'm just going to make like 5 changes at once because I think they all sound like good ideas and they couldn't possibly interact in weird ways and have unforeseen consequences. But we will see. And I'll do another Rocket League stream at some point when I have a good, when I've formed my opinion on what the changes they made. I am the Expert Layman. You all have a great day.